Hi guys, welcome back to Nebula Fox Toy Reviews, and as I said last time, welcome to 2023. I hope you're all having a good year so far. I know it's only been a couple of weeks really, but a lot can happen in 2 weeks. For me, personally, it has been like 30 seconds since the last video, because I'm recording this straight after recording my top 10 list. So, hey ho, 30 seconds for me, pretty much 2 weeks for you. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Figma Akaza from Demon Slayer. If you remember from my top 10 list, if you did watch it and got to the end, I said I had this guy to go alongside the Figma Rengoku. I got him about a week or so, I think. A week or so after the Rengoku Figma, which, you know, normally would have meant I would have reviewed him last year as well, but I already had a bunch of videos recorded, ready to go for the rest of the year last year, so I thought, why not start the new year with him instead? So yeah, here is the figure. Obviously we'll get a closer look at that over on the table. So yeah, let's head on over to the review table and get a closer look at this awesome figure. See you over there. Okay, so here we are at the table. There is the figure. And obviously, as usual, before we take a look at the figure, we will take a quick look at the box. So, the first thing you'll probably notice compared to the Rengoku one, this box does not have a nice fancy sleeve that the Rengoku Figma had. It is literally just the basic box. And I just remembered I left the bag of accessories upstairs. I shall be right back. Got it. Damn, that's a lot of stairs. Or am I just unfit? Probably the second one. Anyway, back to the box. So this doesn't have the nice fancy sleeve that the Rengoku did. So that just shows you that they've put more effort into the packaging for the Hashira. Well, for the humans. Than they have the demons. But other than that, the box is pretty much exactly the same. We have a nice big open window. There's a lot of dust that's been attracted to that. There we go. So we have a nice big window where the figure would sit. And this is where the extra faces would sit. Then we have a nice picture of the figure off to the side. And then we have Figma, Akaza, Demon Slayer, Aniplex, product number 146. Some Japanese UFO table, the animation company. Oh, and up here, Freeing? Yeah, Freeing Plus, whatever that means. Is that the new company that makes them? Oh well. On the top, we pretty much have the exact same thing. So, SP146, I think that means special one. I'm not entirely sure. But here we go. Figma, Max Factory, X Masaki Apsi. I don't know what that means. Or who that is. We've got the Demon Slayer logo again and all that jazz. On this side, we have another really nice look at the figure. And then Akaza and all that jazz. On this side, exactly the same but a different pose. On the back, we have the advertising shots that they took of the figure. This one is not really doable unless you have a torch directly under it, because this base bit does not glow. It does not glow. So yes, we've got some really nice advertisement shots of it and a close-up of the snowflake. And we have lots of warnings in languages that I can't read, but I can read this middle one. That's in English. Apart from that, I can't read any of it else. Oh. Ages 15 and up, so this is not a kid's toy. This is like an adult collectible. On the bottom, exactly the same as the rest of it, plus barcode. So, that's it for the box. Actually, it is not. I just remembered the biggest accessory for the figure is still in the box. Because I did not get it out. Because I have nowhere to display it. I have nowhere to display it with the biggest piece. So let's get the snowflake out. There we go. And then the rest of that can just go back in there. There we go. There's a lot of layers to this box. An awful lot of layers to the packaging. Too many layers if you ask me. I'm not going to bother putting the plastic back in the box because the snowflake is going back in the box after I've reviewed it. So, here is the figure. Let me I'll take him off the base so we can get a proper look at him. This is the stand. I believe this is now the basic Figma stand because I'm used to them being a little bit more squashed. But you've got the arm of the base, which has hinge joint, and a hinge joint. So you can get him in a variety of poses. The screws are nice and tight as well, so you can put him in the air, basically. And then he can also the arm can peg into any of these holes, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, here is the figure. Let's get him in a neutral stance. I believe this guy, like all of the other Figmas, can stand up perfectly fine on his own if he is balanced. Come on, foot. You're going to balance for me? No? I don't think he's going to balance. There we go. I don't think he's going to balance well because he has feet and not shoes. There we go. So there he is, stood up perfectly fine on his own. So, orientate his hands the right way around because it looked a bit broken, that one. So anyway, here's a closer look at the head sculpt. So they have done the hair really nicely in that nice pink tone. Then the detailing on the face is really good. They've got that upper rank 3 printing in his eyes perfectly. And then all of his criminal markings as well. So yeah, that's very nice. We have his jacket as well, his little jacket that he wears. All nice plain purpley pink on the front. And then you have some markings on the back. The jacket is made of like a softer material, so it doesn't get in the way as much. The markings do continue to go down his back. Then we have the little tassels he has on his pants. And then the back of the figure does look kind of ugly because you can see the cuts in the jacket. You can see the joint here at the waist, but it is actually kind of way more noticeable around the front. But you do have these big gaping parts in his legs because, that is, it's to accommodate the joint. But from the back, his legs especially do look kind of ugly. Going back to the front, we've had a look at the face. The face is perfect. Going down to the chest, we can see these markings continue down his neck, down through his chest, and then sort of stop at his belly. But they do continue around the sides of the belly. And they also continue all the way down the arms. Both arms are kind of the same. Are they the same? Yeah. Both arms are the same in terms of the markings. Then we got his trousers. These pants honestly look super comfy. I want a pair. Then we've got the tassels on his pants around the front. And then we have his little ankle bracelets. And then his little feet. Once again, the feet are done really nicely. So we have nicely painted tootsies and tootsie nails. The only downside really is because he is pretty much just skin colour, well, for a demon. The pins for the hinges are kind of obvious. So we've got the pins for the hinges on his feet. And also, if I move his arm out of the way, the pin for the waist joint. So, unfortunately, the pins are super noticeable. Right, for articulation, The head is on a Figma joint. That did not work out. So this is what the Figma joints look like. They're sort of like swivel hinges, so they can sort of act like a ball joint. So this guy, you can't really look up. Him looking up is looking straight ahead. He can sort of look down. So there we go. So he can look down. And obviously he can look left and right as well. And he can also tilt his head side to side a little tiny bit. He can, if you play with the joint and you sort of play with it a little bit, he can T-pose to assert his dominance. He doesn't have a bicep swivel, which is unfortunate, but you can swivel the arm on the joint as well. So that kind of works. There's a single jointed elbow, which gives you quite a nice range of movement, a natural range of movement, I think. You can sort of hyper flex the arm back a little bit, but that's it. It's the same with both arms. Oh, the hands obviously are painted the same as the feet. So you got his fingers painted and his fingernails painted. For the hands, they're on mini Figma hinges, so you can move them side to side. You can also rotate them. And if you play with the joint a little bit, then you can, obviously do forward and back as well. But like I said, you've got to play. There we go. You've really got to play with the joint. Play with the joints on these things. But don't play with them too much because these are pretty damn fragile figures. For the chest region, we do have another joint there. So we have a bit of a swivel. And he can go forward and back as well. We have the joint here, which is for, for crunch and an arcing back. That looks really painful. But we also have a waist swivel. Matt does not feel like it really wants to, so I'm not going to. He has a decent spread. His legs can go forward. Yeah. About that far. And backwards. About that far. So you get a good range of movement forward and back and out with the legs. You get a single jointed knee, so you get 90 degrees of bend in the knee. They have sort of designed the pants that when you bend the knee round the front, it sort of hides the joint as long as you don't sort of bend it all the way. Yeah, once again, no sort of thigh swivel or calf swivel or anything like that. But you do have the foot, which is on a joint, so the foot can go forward that far, it can go back that far. You also have the toe bend, which on this figure is really, really sensitive. I believe you also have some sort of ankle pivot, at least Rengoku did. No, there isn't really much of an ankle pivot on Akaza as well. So not only did he not get as many accessories, he also seems to be less posable. Moving on to accessories. I'll put him off to the side. Figma accessories. Figma figures always come with a little sandwich bag like this, so you can put the accessories in them. So let me just pour them all out. I've got to be careful because there is going to be a spare joint in here. See it? They'll come with a spare wrist peg, as a just in case one breaks. So they are fully aware that their figures are fragile as hell. We have a little extra arm piece for the base in case you need it slightly more angled. So I'll just put those back in there. And there he goes. He does not like it. We also have the hand tree, as I like to call them. It's just this rack for putting all of the hands on. So you can change his hands out a little bit for, you know, a little bit more, yeah, playability and posability. The hands do not like staying on this thing. So all you need to do to swap the hands out is just pull one off and pop the other one on. And there you go. He has his new hand on. So for his hands, you get the karate chop hands. You get two little, like, I think they're more like a power hands, but they kind of look like handshaky hands as well. And then you get fists. Pretty much every single Figma figure you get, the fists are like the default hands that we'll have in the box. But like I said, the hands don't really want to stay on the tree that well. But we also have two spare faces. This face is the default face he has in the box. And then you get an angry face. He's angry, he's about to lose. And then we have, you could say it's a bit more of a panicked face as well, because it kind of looks like the face he had when he could sell that Rengoku was about to chop his head off. And he also has this sort of happy, laughing, become a demon, Kyojuro face. That's pretty much it. And to swap the faces out, I'm going to put the become a demon Kyojuro face on. You basically just pull the fringe off. And then you pull the face off. And then you pop the new face on. This face doesn't really want to go on. There we go. And then pop the fringe back on. And there you go. That, I think, was that out of focus the entire time? So, yeah. And each face has the same detailing on it. This face just has smaller pupils. But and the detailing of the upper rank 3 symbol is a little bit lowered as well, but he also seems to have a vein popping on his forehead. The final accessory is the snowflake for his whatchamacallit, technique development, which was like his blood demon art. I do believe there is a protective film on this, because it's like acrylic. Is that the plastic? So yeah, it does look like it has some sort of protective film on it, but I'm not going to take it off because I don't want to. And then to fully use this one, you need to take the base apart, put the base through the hole, and put the arm through that hole like that. And then plug the stand back into that, like so. And then obviously angle it a little bit better. And there you go. And then just plug Akaza into the base. The base just goes into this hole in his back. And angle that a bit better, like so. And there we go. So we have him doing his like technique development thing. Obviously, I'm not going to pose him doing the pose because I have to swap the hands out and I can't be bothered. But yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like. Because it is on the stand, the snowflake is actually slightly off the ground. So if you have like a very, very thin light, you can probably slide it under the snowflake and light it up from below. If not, then I will. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have to say about that. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please like, share, and leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. And yeah, that's all I can really say about him. So that was my review of Figma Akaza from Demon Slayer. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video, whatever that'll be. Bye!